This is but one of the many tales the users of the web recite.
Before the internet began, before users and trolls existed.
Two outlandish mortals descended upon the rubbish slab of code that was YouTube.
William, the Brit of many sweet treats.
And this fucking guy.
William, with his British melodious articulation, he soothed the souls of his world and beget the joy of sound.
That fucking guy, with his dotty yet mirthful charisma, he dispersed the feelings of the world's souls and beget the joy of merriment.
The two strange nerds, their labors rendered, departed for their computers.
And thousands of followers remained at the point where the nerds left the world.
Ever since, the sacred virtues these nerds left behind have become the basis of the internet's providence.
And the staying place of their virtuous antics has become the Countdown community.
Well, that was a steaming load.
Hello there guys, and welcome to the final countdown of Zelda month. Throughout the enduring courses of this channel, you see me pour out my own scope on the many topics and intricacies of the Zelda-like. Practically every common topic you could even discuss about this series, you've already heard my fairly recent opinions on them. It's almost absurd how much I talk about it, but there is one element of this series that I have yet to touch for a very long time on this channel. And to help myself issue a stronger deal of justice to the matter, I have with me a fellow Countdown artist and modest associate.
Greetings, viewers at home. Fawful's Minion here. Man, time sure does fly, doesn't it? It's been over a year since Rabbid and myself first partnered up to take on a list together. Since then, our writing's souped up, the editing is amended, and the general improvement curve of both our channels is through the exosphere. With the news of Zelda month along the way, Will and I decided to relieve our thirst for another collab. So now, we're teaming up to deliver something hugely overdue.
Longtime onlookers on my channel are all too aware that the first vital milestone I created was my top 10 Legend of Zelda games. While it served as an ambitious kickstarter to my antics of today, it does leave a rather drab upshot to those who watch it. Believe me when I say the age of the video is all too apparent.
Hey, at least watchers of your list didn't have to rifle their way through moundfuls of shitty mic quality. Minions see less horrendous crap than that.
Ah, but you sounded funny.
Shut up. Since the two of us both have abysmal first attempts on the topic, that's precisely what we're going to absolve in this most recent collab. After all, the Zelda series deserves better coverage of its video games than, well, this shit.
Of course, like with any list, we have our own guidelines and disclaimers to set. For starters, we're only looking at the officially branded Zelda games, so no fan-made creations or upcoming titles will be featured here.
Also, and this was obvious from the get-go, none of the meme-savvy YouTube shits will be spoken for here. What's for dinner? Oh, takeout, tofu delivery, that funky block of cheese in the fridge, fucking anything but you!
What?
Just go with it.
Alrighty, are you ready to start this thing?
No, I was thinking about watching you eat hobnobs all evening.
Oh, could you? That sounds really fun!
God, you're hopeless. Alright, roll the clip.
Yahoo!
One commonplace detail that every gamer shares is the likeness of franchise origins. Whatever the target preference may be, each and every one of those renowned pixels and polygons that so many people love have to start out somewhere, because that's kind of how things work in the world. The more you know.
For the humblest of beginnings, there really is only one prime field and console for us to assess. The 8-bit era, and its ever so nostalgic poster boy for rejuvenation, the NES. Unlike today, where its status is stretched well above hyper-divinity, Zelda wasn't so ravishly praised right from the start. The NES birthed a pixelated bevy of franchises, most of which still serve as the core infrastructure. A quintet that I like to call the Forerunning Five. Kirby, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, and the king of the console, Mega Man.
Right, and since we've already brought up the NES, we're set on one of two games, the original Legend of Zelda, or
Zelda 2, bitches!
Okay, that was a bit of a curt punt to the face.
Sorry bro, should've read my label. Might to go crazy.
If I must be honest here, Zelda 2 well, it doesn't really do all that much for me. Much like the transition between the first two NES Mario games, jumping ship to the second installment for Zelda was clashing. Comparing the two games side by side makes that difference stupidly evident. A part of me does feel kinda glad that they're not directly rehashing the same shit over again, but the final result just feels clunky. But alright, let's give them a fair chance. How's the gameplay?
Well, it's a platformer.
What? So you mean that it's like...
Don't show it, man! People are probably watching.
Right, okay. Sorry, I just got a little scared there. You can carry on.
In the words of someone who thoroughly enjoys it, Zelda 2 is honestly one of my favorites on the NES. I guess it's me being a sucker for the classics, but it just has a special sort of backbone to it. Strange? Well, most certainly. The first sliver of gameplay leaves you struck with a, how do you say, mind-fucked gaze? Like, what the shit? The screen? Oh god, it's moving! I don't like these magic tricks! Just kidding, yes I do.
So many people complain that this sort of genre shouldn't be a part of the Zelda series, and the high point of general criticism revolves around it taking on said different style of gameplay. But honestly, this claim is tiresome. It was the second of the series, and there was no clear-cut standard given to the series at this point. The game itself has more problems than just that.
So, what? You dissing the classics now, man? You might as well just throw those precious Chaos Emeralds in the incinerator while you're at it.
Hey, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against classic games. Unless of course they're like this particular one and straight up kicks my ass without mercy. The departure from the top-down Zelda format isn't such a bad thing in itself, but the game is incredibly unforgiving. Much like the majority of titles released on the NES.
Oh, it's not so bad, man. You just gotta...
Death Mountain.
Fuck! Okay, you win.
On top of Mount Rage Quit, there are a myriad of merciless portions found within Zelda 2. Sure, if you're the kind of masochistic maniac that likes this sort of ball-wrenching NES difficulty, you might take a liking to it. But for me, it just doesn't sit. It's a tad too relentless for my taste, and is one of the few genuine, like actually genuine, rage-inducing occasions in the entire series. Also, it doesn't hold much memorability for me, and excluding Darkling, I honestly don't think it left that much of a lasting legacy on the series itself.
Well then! In spite of what Marty McBoxshia over here thinks, Zelda 2 can also house a good number of positives. The challenge appeal is certainly there. I mean, just look at some of these dungeons. And save for Death of All My Tranquility, the difficulty is quite the reasonable challenge for NES-savvy players. Mostly. Not to mention, this game is just so charming. From the useless but hilariously aloof dialogue of the NPCs, to the classic cryptic layout, and the music. Oh god, do I love this soundtrack. It's a bit, sure, but the catchiness of said soundtrack is excellent. Just ask old Brentalfloss.
Okay, that I will agree on, because the music is rather fetching. You just made me say fetching, didn't you, Logan, you son of a bitch?
The gameplay incorporates elements from both side-scrolling platformers and RPGs, setting in a very unique way of playing. Honestly, it works rather well, and it makes for some absurdly satisfying kills on the bosses and enemies. Ooh, that felt good. I don't know, I just can't help but love it.
I guess you do have a point. Zelda 2, while I don't care for it as much as some others, can be entertaining to those who enjoy NES platform games, as well as an insane challenge. In hindsight, it does work better as a standalone platform rather than a Zelda game. But every series needs its own black sheep, even if it is complete balls. Although, it is a heavenly far cry of agony from this.
Oh
god, I showed it, didn't I?
Quick! The tonic! Give me the tonic!
I can't, the door isn't opening.
Oh god! Oh!
Can we go to the next one, please?
Oh god!
Yahoo!
With any video game series still alive back in the 90s, it simply wasn't enough for their brain-rotting endeavors to be limited merely within the comfort of your own home. At this point, the media itself was part of mainstream entertainment, and the family, and thus must have been appropriately re-geared to keep with the times, and with little Johnny's lustful desire for pocket-sized PETA plaguing. No! Shut up, Johnny.
At this time, the handheld market was just beginning to unfold. Thus, many of gaming's most renowned franchises were taken along for the ride, as well as those nobody gave a shit about. Whether the series made before the pocket-sized revolution was good or not, every one of them must have had some sort of handheld outing at some point. And the same is true for our old boy Link here. Hey Logan, mind sharing with me one of those?
One of what? A blank screen?
No, you derp. One of these.
Oh. Oh no, it's another classic. Alright, Willie, allow me to now map out the tone of your voice for the script. What'll it be, snarky or shit-headed?
I don't hate classic games!
Well then, prove me wrong, Pally.
Alright, I will. Link's Awakening serves as a casual change of regularity in the series. Much like Zelda 2, its overall feel of environment sets you in a separate plane of existence, a deviating paradise if you will. Although, it doesn't take as much radical liberties as Zelda 2 did, and is, from my viewpoint, for the better.
So what's the plot this time? Is Ganon back from the dead? Is he hell-bent on taking all that is good in the world? Mortal luster? The lives of everyone? The power of the gods? Hey look, Goombas. Well, no. The plot isn't at all similar. No Zelda, no Ganon, not even Hyrule. It's just Link trying to wake up some flying waylord breaking in designer carpets, I don't know. But the story isn't exactly what sets the entertainment value in place.
The gameplay, if I'm to be frank, well, it isn't too much from the previous top-down installment. I'm not going to issue in a whole fault of, wow, that's really fucking innovative, but it does leave us with a lot less to say. So just roll with us here. The playstyle is almost exactly like that of its NES and SNES predecessors. Exploration across a vast overworld, completing tasks to aid various NPCs, overcoming dungeons, and utilising tools and items to defeat dark forces. You know, the old squirrel cage.
Squirrel cage?
Squirrel cage, son!
Okay, now I'm scared.
With the given conventions, Link's Awakening also sticks insanely close to the MacGuffin plot formula the Zelda franchise has always been known for having. A set number of important or powerful doohickeys in which the plot-constructive character must pursue in order to attain their goal at hand. Often this plot element is criticised due to being so damn commonplace, but the question is it such a bad thing?
Maybe, but surely not from my end of the insight. One thing that Link's Awakening can be praised for is its method of paving the way for more games in the franchise to be set within the player's very own pocket. I mean, the handheld Zeldas aren't as prominent as the console releases, but it's great to know that the series now holds a solid mainstay within the portable market.
Link's Awakening is conventional in just about every field to be seen, but it's also home to a lot of firsts. It was the first of which to utilise a different setting. Instead of Hyrule, the imaginary island of Koholint is where you tread. It's quite a standout from the other top-down worlds, featuring many odd and interesting sights. Odd is right. The gameplay, as mentioned before, doesn't break much of any new ground for the series, but just the way they seamlessly implemented all the mechanics made before and transferred them into this tiny little sculpting brick is certainly ambitious.
But honestly, we gotta cut it some slack. Link's Awakening wasn't made to be a prime innovator. Nothing to make the two pixels from Pawn shit themselves or give Super Mario Bros. A goddamn stroke. It was made for fun, something that many developers push aside in favor of bringing in flooring new staples. There's just something about Link's Awakening that puts a rather creepy, disturbing smile on my face. I'm unleashing a chain chomp, and it's making the moblins its kibble. No joke here, guys, that's amazing.
What makes this all the better is the fact that you can play this game anywhere. You can play it on the roof, in a volcano. You can even play it while hanging around with your pal Slendy. I can literally pick up and play this game right now if I wanted to. This game, it's...
Yes, within the decade, please.
Good!
Bravo there, buddy. Flooring commentary.
You really think so?
Well, why don't we ask Rick Mail? Looks like a winning head to me.
Yahoo!
Okay, just gotta warn all of you, things might get a little hairy from here on out, because this is the first of several strikes of controversy to be seen on our list.
Dude, you got Charizard's #1 hater in here with you. The hairs of controversy have long since grown out.
Alright, tough guy, why don't you do the honours then?
Fine, fine. Link to the past, folks!
What, no explosion? Okay. Gotta say, this is a triumph. Oh, there it is. Well, we've just gone and put one of the biggest leap forward in the series, one of the most celebrated of the bunch, at number 8. I don't know, should we even try to reason?
Well, it's either that or watch the stage play.
Reason it is.
We're not gonna throw a cluster of fibs your way. The both of us aren't exactly the biggest fans of A Link to the Past. We're not cynics exactly, we still love the game. But the sheer degree of what it's praised for and labeled as is what we would call, not our opinion.
Being the third release of a Zelda game, A Link to the Past can be credited for taking numerous bold advances and bringing them to light. It resurfaced the top-down overworld exploration seen in the original in a way so potent it hurts my head. I mean, my god, could you just imagine how incredible this must have looked at the time of its release?
I can vouch for those feels myself. While I didn't play it at the exact time of its release, it was the first game in the series I was introduced to. It was freaking 98, and it still looked great next to the N64 games I had been playing during that time. You hear what they say about SNES Superpower? Well, that.
The reason why this game was such a landmark for the series lies in two clear-cut reasons. For one, the sheer amount of thematic elements A Link to the Past brought forth is one contribution that no other Zelda game can say they've given. The Master Sword, pieces of heart, distinctive dungeons, freeing maidens, and also those goddamn cuckoos. The other reason being its size. I mean, geez, this is huge for a Super Nintendo game. 2 different realms and 12 friggin' dungeons to explore. You can practically mould a house around it.
The ridiculous jump of innovation A Link to the Past made can best be paralleled with that of the one Super Metroid made a few years later. In many ways, it can be viewed as a full-on reimagining of the Zelda franchise, returning to the core gameplay roots of its classic trailblazing innovator, yet still bringing forth standalone quality and expanding it far beyond the likes of the original. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Super Metroid's development team took some discreet, non-public advice from Nintendo EAD.
And now, for the negatives. First off, this game is really easy in many areas. I'm not too sure if that's the overly helpful hookshot doing all the work, but there's not many challenge bulks to trample over in this one. Shadfish.
The other low point is the dungeons. While we praised it for bringing forth varied dungeons, and a lot of them, the set of dungeons in A Link to the Past isn't the strongest of the series. They either range from painfully ordinary, pretty good all around, and someone please lend me some guidance.
With these low points in position, A Link to the Past doesn't faze us nearly as much as it does others. Rekindling a series in any way is one hell of an ambitious stunt, but all the prolific effort plopped into a game changer wouldn't matter much if the product itself didn't have some sort of entertainment factor. And this one surely does. The series of Legend of Zelda may have started in 86, but it wasn't truly established until 93. There is a reason as to why many people expect so much out of Zelda today, and this game is it. Since when did Zelda games have to attain such ridiculous levels of quality? Since A Link to the Past, that's when.
Yahoo!
Hey Will.
Yes?
Tell me what you like.
Trains.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Trains.
Tell it to the audience.
I like trains!
Oh, he said it!
You remember how we stated that all Zelda games are praised with lavishing attention right from the get-go? Yeah, that's pretty much absent with the talk of Spirit Tracks. If I'm being blunt, Spirit Tracks is the most different game within the class of handhelds. Such an odd stir of design choices came out of the DS Zelda games, but they all worked very well for the most part. Spirit Tracks takes this well-settled field and practically frolics around in it. You're not riding a horse, you're not riding a boat, you're carpooling with fucking Thomas, man. And that just kinda doesn't sound right.
At first speculation, this central idea pitch sounds like one of the stupidest fucking concepts ever. Like, really? A goddamn train? Brilliant! With this iffy design choice, I was so sure that the same train used to demo the idea was gonna wreck its own shit. But, no. It turned out to be really good. With Spirit Tracks, the conventional control scheme the DS typically uses gets a fresh coat of paint splattered on and is thrown to the CGI sharks. Because fuck formality. In Spirit Tracks, no buttons are used. Nope, nada. Instead, every single thing you do relies solely on the interaction with the touchscreen. Want to slash an enemy, move the camera, or even freaking move? Well, those buttons ain't gonna help.
Running on a familiar sequel course of making repeated use of the previous engine, the Meter Spirit Tracks throws a lot of clever curveballs that you'll hit right the second it's brought forth. Lots of fresh concepts here. The mode of transportation is one of the finest examples of this. The train you ride is a little different from the SS Linebeck from Phantom Hourglass. You're still riding down a pre-drawn fixed route, but you have a little bit more freedom this time around thanks to diverging tracks and different speeds. Also, more general use is highlighted in this areas, utilising all the functions of the Spirit Train to near perfection. Especially when those bastard dark trains try and go and marry your locomotive behind, those little fuckers!
On the overworld, we got a clever arsenal of dungeon clearing tools to screw around with. The Boomerang in particular was given a whole shitload of intricate brain teasers to accompany it. Yes, this was carried over from Phantom Hourglass, but its effectiveness in the puzzle solving is more evident here. Especially in the Snow Temple. Took me fucking forever to work out that bell puzzle. A really, really odd twist Spirit Tracks introduces is actually Zelda. Think you gotta save the classic dame? Nope. After a hilariously tragic incident caused by Lucky's satanic brother, Zelda's spirit is torn away from her tangible body. Well, I'm not tasting anything magically delicious, but yeah! Zelda can help finally! With this new ethereal form, Zelda can actually possess the form of an enemy phantom, and is imperative to some of the more clever puzzles throughout. It's almost kind of surreal to see such a common damsel in distress be used as a legitimate ally on your journey. Well, Peach had Mario 2 and Legend of the Vibe Scepter, so I guess it was only a matter of time for Zelda to have some portion of the spotlight.
With all these great ideas brought forth, I fail to see why Spirit Tracks often gets the shitty end of the stick. The creativity employed here is fantastic, and frankly, it deserves to be acknowledged alongside its more legendary brethren. Bit of some slow pacing here and there, but this is easily one of the greatest handheld Zeldas out there. However, it's not quite the best.
Yahoo!
You still here with me, man?
3 top-down Zelda games in a row. My sense of repetition is fading on me.
Well, don't pass out just yet. Good stuff is coming our way.
Oh? How good we talking here?
Oh, you'll see. But first, could you hit this block for me real quick?
Okay, what's this for?
It, contains the next segment. Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
God damn it, Will! This was a mini mushroom! What's the point of this?
It's Minish Cap.
Oh.
My word, is this one good. In all its prime, Minish Cap ranks up as an incredible standout amongst the top-down assembly of Zelda games. After the commercial success of the 2 Oracle games, Nintendo decided to give Capcom a thumbs-up opportunity at developing another game in the series, cause we all know how much I like those. What we got out of the maligned DLC hounds for their second try is possibly the greatest handheld Zelda of them all. And although it wasn't nearly as successful as the last go, it drove in much more precision.
Dude, can I please go back to normal size now?
Not yet. First you gotta say something nice about Minish Cap.
Alright. As with any Nintendo system, the Game Boy Advance simply had to have a Zelda game to go along with it. But we had to wait quite a while for one to show its face. With the knowledge of the developer already planted into your head, you gotta ask yourself, how could the guys who brought you this give you some of this? Simple answer, my Furies. You give them some of that. That's just how they work.
Well, it seems that a whole swarm of fans hurled their mannies at them one day, because they really stepped up their game for the last try. Not to chuck crap at the Oracle games, but Minish Cap certainly feels more refined. After the wind-made Vati releases a flurry of monsters and turns Zelda to stone, Link is set out to reforge the Picori blade to its true shape of the Four Sword, a weapon capable of splitting its wielder into 4 copies. Conveniently, this is where the Minish come into the scene. They're basically tiny little people that help Link. I don't know. It's gotta suck being that tiny.
Yeah! Aren't they the lucky ones?
Ah, shut it. You sound like a pissy little chipmunk, man.
Ugh. In the clearest of hindsight, what we have here is a quest of sizes. This time around, the vast expanse of Hyrule is presented through 2 very different perspectives. Normal, and about the size of a small grape. The normal perspective, well, that's just what it is. But Link's viewpoint from his appropriately named Minish stature is a brilliant gameplay tweak. Zelda's always been known for highlighting details in depth, but this is just ridiculous. From this altered sense of size and the extremely close-up camera angle, it really makes you appreciate the visual detail put into the world around you. That, and you actually feel tiny. But you know it.
With Link being at this pint size, the kicks gotten from general exploration are astounding. Bitch, I'm hopping about on giant mushrooms, your argument is bullshit. With the use of a blade that isn't the Master Sword for once, the entirety of Minish Cap is packed with loads of new puzzle elements, not shown before or since. Casting out duplicates and pushing giant pots are just to list a few. When talk of bosses, Minish Cap has its low points and strong points. Vati and the Gyorg pair come across as very good, whereas the big green Choo Choo just... nah.
Well, the fight kinda sucks, but it truly shows what it's like to be small, and will you just resize me, you fuck?
But you sound so cute, can't you just stay like that?
No! This is bullshit! This goddamn giant fly won't stop bugging me!
Ugh. I'll get you for that later.
Sure you will.
You'll see.
For all the great content it radiated, it shocks me to see how much the reception of this game diminished. And did I just really say that? Barring Four Swords Adventures, Minish Cap is the worst selling entry in the franchise, with little over 1 million total copies sold. 1 million is a great amount of common sales, but for Zelda standards, that's just pitiful, Capcom. You fuckers! I hate you and your money grabbing ways. But god damn it, you made this game so much. Yes! I love you again. I'm gonna have so much fun cutting things with my sword.
$2 a swing.
What? But
50 cents a word.
What kind of shit is this?
$60 an insult.
Bullshit. I'm sick of this. I'm not having this, guys. I'm not having it. Where's my Widowmaker?
That'll be 2 ref.
Go suck on some Girardi.
See you on the better channel.
How long can it stay fresh in that can?